Thanks for coming.
Appreciate you.
All right, folks, we're going to open up the floor for CJ right here, middle. Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
CJ, Ryan was saying that he expects Jackson and Julian to be back this week. How excited are you about that?
First and foremost, I want to give all glory and praise to God, but I think that'll be exciting for our team, just getting two dynamic playmakers back. I think the guys who've been playing already have been doing a good job too, so even if they don't come back, I know we'll be fine, but hopefully they do.
Over to the left, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
CJ, that touchdown pass to Mecca, can you just kind of break down what you were seeing on that play and also the type of throw you have to make to be accurate in that situation?
Yeah, so it was a forward look. We knew kind of that Sam was triggering on the run because he had the B-gap responsibility, so we're kind of picking on that some part of the game, and Mecca did a good job by selling drag and then piping it up, so I know I think he ran it off the mic, and then I couldn't find him at first, but then I just kind of kept looking, knowing that the type of route runner he is, he's not going to just give up after contact. So after he did that, I just kind of just wanted to give him a good ball he can run with, and I think I did that pretty decently. So I think it was a good execution by both of us, just making it work, even when it wasn't the ideal look that we thought we were going to get, but it worked. So.
Right behind him, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
CJ, what does G. Scott bring when he's in there with his, kind of combined ability to play receiver and tight end?
Yeah, I think he's a very dynamic tight end. He has the ability to run block, pass block, and also run really good routes. So, being his background, being an ex-receiver, I definitely think that he has a lot of positives to our offense, and we'll continue to use him more and more. So.
Right behind him, Jacob Bench, the Lantern.
Yeah, hey CJ, I asked Ryan about the emphasis he places on you guys about playing an in-state opponent. If you can recall the Akron game last year, maybe even a little bit this weekend with Toledo. Ohio State has a pretty good history playing in-state opponents. Just what do you notice about what's different preparing to play a team from Ohio going into game week?
I mean, I think every opponent I try to approach the same. But I mean, being in state, I don't know if that really changes anything. To be quite honest, maybe they have a couple. I know Dallas Gant, their middle linebacker, played here too. That's one of my former teammates, good friends. So I'm not sure if that really plays anything to it. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just gonna go out there, compete, try to have fun, and win the game. So, but I definitely think. I mean, we'll go out there and maybe try to beat them more because they're in state. I'm not sure. I just want to win. I don't really care.
Front row middle, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
CJ, is there something that you worked on in the off season that you've been pleased that you've been able to take to the field this year? Just some area of improvement so far?
I don't know. I probably just a multitude of things. I definitely I think I've been harping on this a lot, just being smarter in the game, taking what the defense gives me, and trying not to turn the ball over as much as I did last season, and just being smarter with the football, spreading it around. So I mean, it's still early in the season. I mean, it's only 2 games in, so still have a lot more improvement to still do. But I definitely think that we're making strides, just being a smarter offense, being more dynamic in the run game and pass game, kind of letting it work with each other. So I think as a whole, we're getting better and better every other week. So definitely have some more things to fix, but we're getting better. So.
Over here, Tim May, Letterman Row.
Yeah, step back to that Emeka Egbuka throw, though. Explain to me when you feel like you really started to develop patience as a quarterback to let things sort of develop. You know what I mean? In front
Yes, sir.
of you. And how long have you had that ability from your vantage point?
I don't know. I think I think God blessed me with that kind of like anticipation, kind of skill since a kind of a young age. I've always been kind of gifted in that aspect. I feel just to fill out defenses and know when my guy is going to be open and where, and just throw it to a spot to where only he can get it and where he's going to be, not where he's at the moment. So, I mean, we've been working. I think those type of routes you have to work on in the off season with like any timing route. So I definitely think mine did a good job in that look too, because after we faked off the Sam, he ended up blitzing, and so I had to like step up a little bit. But mine kicked him out for me, and it's just everybody kind of just doing their job to make execution work. So I definitely think that that's something we can build on, and hopefully we just keep doing that.
But it's obvious to you immediately that if Emeka can get through the mess, it's wide open, right? I mean, Is, how do you fight that antsiness? I mean, to make it happen before it happens.
I don't know. I just think if you just like kind of think about like past games or past things that you maybe even when you were playing as a kid, and just I think this is learning experience, just like knowing that not to rush things. I think anything good happens in life in general take time. So that's even with football, running routes, throwing the ball. So I think time is a virtue. So I definitely think my O-line was definitely, they always start. I always tell them they're the best players on our team. So the game starts and ends with them. So if they can give us time and our receivers can have a little bit of urgency with their routes, then it'll work out. So I think definitely just time off and on the field is what made that play work.
Nick, right next door, Austin Ward, rivals.
CJ, was that play actually designed for Cade?
Cade ended up actually coming open. It wasn't designed for him. It was Mecole was the first read, and Cade was the second, and then if it was anything else, and I could check it down or do something else. So Cade did a good thing. Cade ran a good route as well, and he ended up being open. But if one isn't open, then I go to two. So I'm not gonna pass up on one if one is still working on his route. So.
It seemed like Arkansas State was just more worried about Cade than Emeka, which was an interesting choice.
Yeah, I mean, Arkansas State was not a bad team at all. I mean, they have a lot of good transfers. Their offense was pretty dynamic with Champ. He's from where I'm from, so it was good seeing him it wasn't good seeing him have a good game, but it was good for me to see him after the game and say what's up to him. It was number 7 on their team, and they weren't as bad as everybody just thought. So definitely had some good players, and I think they were well coached. And I think we still end up play good.
Right behind him, Bill Landis. CJ.
When Julian's healthy, what's he bring to this offense? What are you looking forward to seeing him do once he gets back out there?
I definitely think Julian is very versatile. He's very dynamic. Just, of course, everybody knows he can go and get the deep ball and things like that. But he's been working on his game a lot this summer, just snapping his routes down, making them clean, making them crisp, like curls, digs, outs, different things like that. He's definitely stepped his game up with those. And then, of course, he brings that physical element, just him being so big and being able to block people. And so I definitely think we'll use him maybe in all those aspects. And when he comes back, he'll definitely be used a lot. So definitely excited, and I think he's super excited as well to come back and contribute to wins.
Second row middle, Nathan Barrett, Cleveland.com.
I wanted to ask about Donovan Jackson and what you've seen from him so far, but then also just the whole package that he is, size and athleticism and the way he sees a game. Specifically with the run game, how can you guys use him as a weapon in the run game?
He's very smart to be so young. I mean, he knows IDs. He knows what we're trying to get done. He asks a lot of questions. Him and Luke kind of work hand in hand. So just being so young and being able to kind of adapt to college football so quick, I definitely think that just pays to how much he works, not only on the field but in the film room. So I mean, yeah, like you said, he's a really big body. He's really agile as well, but he works really hard in the weight room. So he's able to move people out of his way and do things like that. I think him and Paris, being on the left side, both work together really well. Both have really good feet work. So I definitely think Donovan is going to be a great player, and he has shown that. So, but he has to definitely just keep growing, remain humble in everything that he's doing. And I definitely think that he's just that type of kid. So he's a good guy, and I definitely think that he'll have a bright future.
Over here to the far right, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
CJ, when you get through your progressions, is that why you're finding Cade more than you found tight ends last year? You've already got you've already completed 5 passes to him. Right? Do you feel like that's part of getting through your progressions? Do you feel like that's just Cade getting open, the offense that you guys are trying to install? What is it that's making you find him a few more times than you found tight ends last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think just being at Ohio State, we have a lot of good tight ends. Ruck was definitely one of the best tight ends I've ever played with in my life. Was probably the first true tight end I've ever played with. So I know that we were trying to get him the ball more and more last year, but just the guys on the outside were so good and we're getting open so quick and things like that they were kind of demanding the ball just because they were winning every time. So I definitely think that had to play a part in it. I'm not saying that my guys this year aren't just winning like they were last year. I mean, as you can tell, Marvin and Emeka are doing a great job on the outside. Then X on the inside right now. So, I mean, and when it's Cade's turn, he does a good job as well. So we just know with Cade, he's such a big body. He's like a little Gronk. So He definitely has that type of game where if we give him the ball, he's going to make something happen. So, I mean, it's just my job. I try to spread the ball around, and but at the same time, I have to be disciplined in my rules and get the ball to where it has to go every time. So, I'm not sure if it's any different, but I know that Kay is doing a good job just getting yards after the catch and things like that. So, I definitely think we'll continue to feed him.
Time for two more questions. Third row, Cameron T, The Athletic.
CJ, and last week I think you mentioned how good of friends you are with Maya, and just kind of your thoughts on just seeing his development and seeing him play so well, and two, his pair with Trayveon, how important are they, and how much pressure they take off you as quarterback?
Right, yeah. I definitely think they're a dynamic duo. I've been thinking that since last season. Mine has been good since he got here. It's just I think now everybody's kind of welcome to that just because he's getting more touches and but his pass blocking is tremendous. Same with Trey. Trey's taking that really serious, which helps me, like you said, it helps my job so much. And I definitely think that our approach in the offseason of running the ball, making sure we had to run the ball, is paying dividends into our play action pass and some of our RPO games. So I definitely think that we're doing good things with the backs, and they'll continue to do great things. And I feel like when Evan comes back, he'll do the same. And even Dallin showed a little upside this past weekend. So, I mean, that running back room is definitely on the come up, and I'm excited to see what they do the rest of the season.
And final question, far left, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated.
CJ, Coach Day made a comment about having noon games, being able to actually go home and be home by 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and you watch some other games around the country. Do you do that?
Yes, sir. Of course, yeah. I go home and watch. And probably I like binge watch. So I go from like game to game to game and just try to see what's going on.
Do you have any thoughts or opinions on what's going on around college football right now, as you've seen the first couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. I know some teams took some losses, but I just think that shows everybody every week. I mean, you can lose to anybody. Doesn't matter who you play. Everybody's coming in to take your spot in the rankings and whatever the case may be. So I think that's just something with our team. We don't want to learn the hard way this season. I know we did that last year, so we don't want to learn the hard way again. And we're just real hyping on it's not about anybody else, it's about us. If we come and play Ohio State ball and we play it like we know we're supposed to play, then we shouldn't have any issues. So, but at the same time, we respect all of our opponents. We approach each opponent the same and just try to get better and better each and every week in practice, and execute in the game. So I think we'll definitely just keep building on that.
CJ, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.